In a heat exchanger, the rate of heat transfer from the hot fluid to the cold fluid A varies directly as the area and the LMTD. B directly proportional to LMTD and inversely proportional to the area. C varies as square of the area. D none of these. The correct answer is varies directly as the area and the LMTD. With increase in temperature, the total emissivity of conductors A increases, B decreases, C remains same, D decreases linearly. The correct answer is increases. Loss of heat from untagged steam pipe to the ambient air is by A conduction, B convection, C radiation, D all ABC. The correct answer is all ABC. Fruit juice, a heat-sensitive material, can be concentrated in an evaporator. A long tube, B falling film, C high pressure, D none of these. The correct answer is falling film. Tubes are held between top and bottom tube sheets in Calenderia type evaporator by keeping A both the tube sheets fixed, B both the tube sheets floating, C the top tube sheet floating and bottom tube sheet fixed, D the top tube sheet fixed and the bottom tube sheet floating. The correct answer is both the tube sheets fixed. A single-pass air heater is connected to a two-pass unit. For the airflow rate and other conditions remaining the same, the film heat transfer coefficient for air will vary in the ratio of A to B to 0.8, C to 0.2, D to 0.5. The correct answer is to 0.8. Heat-sensitive materials can be concentrated in an evaporator employing A vacuum, B high pressure, C high residence time, D none of these. The correct answer is vacuum. A concentric double pipe heat exchanger as compared to the shell and tube heat exchanger for the same heat load requires A less heating surface, B more space, C lower maintenance cost, D none of these. The correct answer is more space. In a shell and tube heat exchanger, floating head is used for A large temperature differentials, B high heat transfer coefficient, C low pressure drop, D less corrosion of tubes. The correct answer is large temperature differentials. Steam trap is used to A condense the steam flowing in the pipeline, B remove water resulting from partial condensation of steam, C stop the supply of steam, D none of these. The correct answer is remove water resulting from partial condensation of steam. The average heat transfer coefficient over the entire length of the plate HA and the local heat transfer coefficient HL in case of heat transfer over a flat plate in Iminar zone is related as AHA 0.8 HL, BHA 2 HL, CHA HL, DHA 5 HL. The correct answer is HA 2 HL. Maximum heat transfer rate is achieved in flow A co-current, B counter-current, C turbulent, D laminar. The correct answer is turbulent. Wavelength corresponding to the maximum energy is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature. This is law A Stefan's, B Dalton's, C Wien's, D Kirchoff's. The correct answer is Wien's. 3 material A, B and C of equal thickness and of thermal conductivity of 20, 40, 60 kilocalories HR, MC respectively are joined together. The temperature outside of A and C are 30 C and 100 C respectively. The interface between B and C will be at a temperature of C, A 40, B 95, C 70. D. 50. The correct answer is 70. Which of the following parameters of the fluid is not very important while deciding its route in a shell and tube heat exchanger? A. Corrosiveness, fouling characteristics. B. Pressure. C. Viscosity. D. Density. The correct answer is density. Corrosiveness of steam condensate is due to the presence of A. CO2. B. Dissolved O2. C. Both A, B. D. Neither A nor B. The correct answer is both A, B. The equation in street XN23PRF2 is the analogy. A. Colburn. B. Reynolds. C. Prandtl. D. None of these. The correct answer is Colburn. The driving potential for the crystal growth during crystallization is the of the solution. A. Concentration. B. Viscosity. C. Supersaturation. D. Density. The correct answer is supersaturation. JH factor for heat transfer depends upon the number. A. Biot. B. Nusselt. C. Reynolds. D. Prandtl. The correct answer is Reynolds. kg of liquid evaporated per hour in an evaporator is defined as its A. Capacity. B. Economy. C. Steam load. D. None of these. The correct answer is capacity. Pick out the correct statement. A. 1 kilocalorie HR.m. C is equal to 1 BTU HR. Feet F. B. In steady state heat conduction, the only property of the substance which determines the temperature distribution is the thermal conductivity. C. In unsteady state heat conduction, heat flows in the direction of temperature rise. D. In heat transfer by forced convection, Kirchoff number is very important. The correct answer is in steady state heat conduction, the only property of the substance which determines the temperature distribution is the thermal conductivity. Open pan evaporators are preferred to be used when the solution to be concentrated is A. Scaling. B. Highly viscous. C. Corrosive. D. Salty. The correct answer is highly viscous. Is termed as the number A. Kirchoff. B. Nusselt. C. Prandtl. D. Stanton. The correct answer is Prandtl. The maximum heat transfer coefficient from steam heating will be attained when the steam is A. Supersaturated. B. Saturated. C. Wet. D. None of these. The correct answer is saturated. Kirchoff's law is applicable to A. Monochromatic radiation only. B. Total radiation only. C. Both A and B. D. Only volumes and not to surfaces. The correct answer is both A and B. In a forward feed multiple effect evaporator, the pressure is A. Highest in last effect. B. Lowest in last effect. C. Same in all effects. D. Dependent on the number of effects. The correct answer is lowest in last effect. In a co-current double pipe heat exchanger used for condensing saturated steam over the inner tube, if the entrance and exit conditions of the coolant are interchanged, then the rate of condensation will A. Increase. B. Decrease. C. Remain unchanged. D. Either increase or decrease, depends on the coolant flow rate. The correct answer is remain unchanged. Which of the following situations can be approximated to a steady state heat transfer system? A. A red-hot steel slab having outside surface temperature as 1300 C exposed to the atmospheric air at 35 C. B. 10 kg of dry saturated steam at 8 kg FCM2 flowing through a short length of stainless steel pipe exposed to atmospheric air at 35 C. C. Boiling brine kept in open vessel when the bottom surface temperature of the vessel is maintained constant at 180 C. D. A subcooled refrigerant liquid at 8 C flowing at the rate of 6 kg minute through a copper pipe exposed to atmospheric air at 35 C. The correct answer is 10 kilograms of dry saturated steam at 8 kg FCM2 flowing through a short length of stainless steel pipe exposed to atmospheric air at 35 C. Sensible heat absorbed by 1 pound of water when it is heated from 32 to 212 floor may be around BTU. A. 180. B. 970. C. 3.97. D. Data insufficient, can't be predicted. The correct answer is 180. The unit of conductance in SI unit is A. Wm. B. Wm2. C. Wk. D. Wmk. The correct answer is Wk. In a shell and tube heat exchanger, square pitch compared to triangular pitch, A gives a higher shell side pressure drop. B gives a lower shell side pressure drop. C can pack more surface area into a shell of given diameter. D. None of these. The correct answer is gives a lower shell side pressure drop. Which of the following has maximum thermal conductivity? A. Iron. B. Coal. C. Nitrogen. D. Tar. The correct answer is iron. A wall has two layers of materials A and B, each made of a different material. Both the layers have the same thickness. The thermal conductivity of material A is twice that of B. Under the equilibrium, the temperature difference across the wall is 36 C. The temperature difference across the layer A is C. A6. B12. C18. D24. The correct answer is 12. The film coefficient between condensing vapor and metal wall increases with A. Increasing temperature of the vapor. B. Decreasing temperature of the vapor. C. Increasing viscosity of the film of condensate. D. Increasing temperature drop. The correct answer is increasing temperature of the vapor. Critical value of the number governs the transition from laminar to turbulent flow in free convection heat transfer. A. Kirchoff. B. Reynolds. C. Both A. B. D. Prandtl-Kirchoff. The correct answer is Prandtl-Kirchoff. The thermal boundary layer at NPR1. A is thicker than hydrodynamic boundary layer. B is thinner than hydrodynamic boundary layer. C and the hydrodynamic boundary layer are identical. D disappears. The correct answer is thinner than hydrodynamic boundary layer. In the free convection regime of pool boiling, the heat flux is proportional to AT1 to BT2, CT54, DT. The correct answer is T54. With increase in temperature, the thermal conductivity of fresh lubricating oil A increases, B decreases, C remains unchanged. D may increase or decrease, depends on its composition. The correct answer is decreases. Fresh orange juice contains 12 by weight solids and the rest water. 90 of the fresh juice is sent to an evaporator to remove water and subsequently mixed with the remaining 10 of fresh juice. The resultant product contains 40 solids. The kg of water removed from 1 kg fresh juice is A 0.4, B 0.5, C 0.6, D 0.7. The correct answer is 0.7. Nusselt number is the ratio of the temperature gradient at the wall to A. Temperature difference, B. Heat flux, C. That across the entire pipe, D. None of these. The correct answer is that across the entire pipe. The Stefan-Boltzman constant depends on the A. medium, B. temperature, C. surface, D. none of these. The correct answer is none of these. The units of resistance to heat transfer is AJ.M2.K1, BJ.M1.K1, CW.M2.K1, DW1M2K. The correct answer is W1M2K. Thermal conductivity of a gas at low density with increase in temperature. A. decreases, B. increases, C. remains unchanged, D. may increase or decrease depends on the gas. The correct answer is increases. Nusselt number is a function of Prandtl number and number of fluid in natural convection heat transfer. A. Kirchoff, B. Biot, C. Stanton, D. Reynolds. The correct answer is Kirchoff. Heat exchanger is used for chilling oil to be dewaxed. A. U-tube, B. double pipe, C. fixed tube, D. floating head. The correct answer is double pipe. It is not recommended to use a 1-2 shell and tube heat exchanger for a particular heat duty whenever the LMTD correction factor is A. 0.75, B. 0.75, C. 0.50, D. 0.25. The correct answer is 0.75. Pick out the wrong statement. A. Economy of a multiple effect evaporator is not influenced by the boiling point elevation. B. Two identical cubes of iron and copper will have the same heat content under the same conditions of temperature. C. Double pipe heat exchangers are mostly used in the field of refrigeration. D. Finned tube heat exchangers are suitable for heating air by steam. The correct answer is two identical cubes of iron and copper will have the same heat content under the same conditions of temperature. In subcooled boiling, A. temperature of the heating surface is less than the boiling point of the liquid. B. temperature of the heating surface is more than the boiling point of the liquid. C. bubbles from heating surface are absorbed by the mass of the liquid. D. very large vapor space is necessary. The correct answer is temperature of the heating surface is more than the boiling point of the liquid. With increase in temperature, the thermal conductivity of a gas A. increases, B. decreases, C. remains same, D. may increase or decrease depending on the type of gas. The correct answer is increases.